Good morning and welcome to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. We'll begin our focus this morning finding out more about the world's largest and oldest civic organization that's been built on a foundation of trust and high ethical standards, the Rotary Club of Milwaukee. Here to tell us more about it is Kathie Eilers, who is a past president and current mentor for the Rotary Club's scholarship program. Hi, Kathie.
Hi, Andrea.
Thank you so much for being here.
Sure.
And I am excited to learn more about the Rotary Club of Milwaukee. Tell us more.
So the Rotary Club of Milwaukee is one of the 34,000 Rotary clubs around the world. There are 1.2 million Rotarians. So we have about 375 members, and our club is 100 years old. It was founded in 1913 by a group of businessmen. And the original Rotary was founded in Chicago, in Evanston. So we are very proud of our tradition of service. The Rotary motto is service above self, and so this is a club that educates its members, provides for strong networking, but above all is a service club.
Yeah, I love that. And when you talk about having members, how in fact does someone become a part of the Rotary Club?
The Rotary Club membership is by invitation, and so if you know a Rotarian and you would like to become a member, that's the best way. We have a recruitment committee that reviews applications, and then the board of directors admits someone to the Rotary Club.
Okay. And so you focus on people who have demonstrated leadership in their profession.
Absolutely.
And the community. So those are just
right.
Few
So
of the
we're looking
prerequisites.
for people who have a commitment to this community in particular and a commitment to the world. We do a number of projects. For example, right today we have members in Guatemala looking at water projects that we have funded there and making sure that those projects are accomplishing what we've set out to.
That's pretty awesome. And speaking of leaders, each Tuesday, Milwaukee's business, professional, and community leaders come together at the War Memorial Center for lunch to listen and learn about key issues affecting our community. And that's what this show is all about. So tell us more.
Yes, we have a program committee that kind of scans the horizon and selects topics and speakers that we think our membership should know about. So sometimes they're globally focused, sometimes they're much more local. For example, yesterday we heard from the Public Policy Forum President Rob Henkin about their study about the state of education in Milwaukee. Next week, the mayor is coming to talk about his budget for the coming year. And so we have a variety of speakers, and I think one of the things our members find most useful is that experience and that exposure to topics.
Yeah, so along with Mayor Tom Barrett, you also have throughout the month of March, Kathleen Sebelius talking about global health, as you had just mentioned.
And that's a joint program with the International Health Center.
Wow. And then MPS Superintendent Darian Driver to talk about the state of Milwaukee Public Schools, which is huge as far as topics. Right now.
And Rotary is committed to education, among other things, but education is a strong focus of ours. We work in a number of schools. We have a partnership with the Brewers Community Foundation for a program called Reading is Fundamental, where we go into schools and give away books to children. We do that in a number of both MPS schools and charter schools. We obviously have our scholarship program, which we can talk about. So we really are committed. We have mentors at two schools in particular, Oliver Wendell Holmes and Brown Street Academy. So we're very committed to education.
Yeah, and we will talk in more detail about a few of the things that you mentioned, but I did want our viewers at home to know that they can listen to the podcasts of these events when the mayor comes to the War Memorial and the superintendent of MPS. So that's really a treat because it gives them that extra foot in on what's going on that they may not have had preview to before.
Yes, absolutely. Those are available on our website.
Okay, and that website address?
The Rotary Club of Milwaukee
I have MilwaukeeRotary.com,
MilwaukeeRotary.com.
and we'll put that on the screen just so everybody has it straight. MilwaukeeRotary.com. And the environment and ecology is very important to the Rotary Club as well.
Right. So the major project we've had over the past several years has been our partnership with the Urban Ecology Center around the Rotary Centennial Arboretum. That was our gift to this community on our 100th anniversary. Awesome. We raised $400,000 toward that project and leveraged that into $8.5 million. So if you have not been to the Arboretum at the Urban Ecology Center, you should definitely go. We have planted literally thousands of shrubs, flowers, trees, and it is an amazing place.
Yeah.
And we just reclaimed old land that was contaminated and have built this wonderful urban park.
That is wonderful, and I can tell you're very proud of that.
Very.
I can tell, yes. And we did mention education being a huge concern within the Rotary Club. So you did talk about partnering with schools in the community.
Right.
And in 2008, you pledged $100,000 to help restore Brown Street Academy's schoolyard.
Right.
And that is now complete?
That is now complete. That was the second of our centennial projects. But we have a huge commitment to that area. Feeding America, which is the huge food pantry, was initiated by Rotarians many years ago. And so that whole neighborhood is something that Rotary has been invested in. And we're now in the process of partnering with the Center for Resilient Cities and Milwaukee County Parks Department to raise over $1 million to renovate Johnson's Park.
That is major.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So also along the lines of education, you have scholarship opportunities, which, needless to say, they're imperative for many young people who have a dream of attending college but may not have the financial means. So you have a number of scholarships. Are they still available for this year?
They are still available. In fact, it's timely. The deadline for applications for the academic year 15-16 is March 15th.
Wow.
So if you have any young people out there who would like to apply for these scholarships, they should send that scholarship. In fact, the instructions are on our website again. But we have about 20 scholars at the moment. We give out about $40,000 a year in scholarships. The average scholarship's about $2,500. We have 2 endowed scholarships that generate income for students. Each student that is selected for a scholarship gets 2 Rotarian mentors. And that really has to do with our belief that it is important for students to have a relationship with somebody outside their family who really cares about their being successful. So I'm a nurse by education, and so I mentor a young woman who is just in her sophomore year in nursing, wants to be a nurse. She's spending this semester in Australia, so she's having a wonderful time. But the mentorship part of it is very important to Rotarians. One of the things we're committed to doing is not just writing a check, but actually being involved in the projects that we take on, so that Rotarians have a chance to provide service as well as cash.
Yeah, and I know there are people at home who are just as impressed as I, because I'm hearing you talk about all these things, and that's happening right here in our city, where people are coming together, using their resources, and making a huge difference in our community. And so I love the fact that not only do you give the financial awards, you also have study skills, coaching, and as you mentioned, the 2 mentors. And being a mentor and knowing, all the things that young people need in order to thrive and be able to reach their goals, what would you say to someone else out there watching as far as thinking about mentoring young people?
First of all, I think you have to really want to do it, and you have to be passionate about it, and you have to be committed to the young person's success. This is not easy for a lot of these young people. For many of them, they're the first person in their family to ever go to college. It's very different from the high school scene. For many of them, it's the first time away from home. So a mentor is somebody who can be a link who can provide some support and advice. I think we try really hard as mentors to not be preachers, to not say.
Not take the role of parent.
Yes, exactly. But parents are very grateful to us. We do 2 events a year where we invite the students and their parents to come and meet with the mentors. And the thing I noticed this January at that event was how pleased parents are that their son or daughter has someone that has experience in the world of business or service of whatever kind, and that can be a help to them.
Absolutely, because as much as a family can support a young person, I couldn't necessarily ask my mother to give me insight on what it's like to be a broadcaster, because that's not what she specializes in. So that's the difference right there, giving insight. And you have experience in being a nurse on many different levels, I'm sure, and you're giving this young lady an opportunity to even foresee what's to come.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
How many options there are out there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And so the amount of the scholarships are determined on an annual basis, so people should keep that in mind. And the deadline, once again, is
March 15th.
March 15th. To help raise money for your scholarship fund, you have your Scholarship Golf Classic. It's planned for Monday, June 15th at Ozaki Country Club. I'm sure it's a great time, but
it's a great time, but it's all for a great cause.
Yeah.
The golfers obviously enjoy the day. We invite people who don't want to golf to come for dinner. We have a silent auction. We have a voice auction. It's a great event, and we hope to raise $40,000.
That is awesome. And someone who's watching, is there any way they could get involved with this golf classic?
They certainly can. All you have to do, all the contact information is on the website, or you can call the Rotary office.
Okay, and I do have that phone number, 414-276-4425, or they can again log on to MilwaukeeRotary.com. Wanted to bring up, we've talked about the importance of mentoring, but I think volunteerism is a huge thing in this day and age when we talk about making a difference. You have a committee within the Rotary Club entitled Done in a Day. And your members go out into the community on many different levels, and you really do make a difference.
We do, and Done in a Day is a very bright idea, I think, because there are many people who don't feel like they could commit themselves to a volunteer activity every week. Done in a Day means just what it says. There's a volunteer activity. You can go and do it and be done in a day. So, for example, people go and sort food at Feeding America before it goes out to people. We ring bells for the Salvation Army at Christmas. There's a whole number of things like that that organizations just need some help for a day to do a project.
Yeah, you've done gardening at Walnut Way, St. Catherine's Residence Roof Project. I mean, everything under the sun.
Yes, we're diverse.
Yes, and that's what's wonderful about networking opportunities, because you have people who do a lot of different things who can actually bring something to the table.
And I think that what it means is that every Rotarian we know has a gift that they can give to this community. And so part of our job as the leadership of the club is to find opportunities to use those gifts for the better of the community.
Yeah, and wrapping up, I'd like to talk about something that I think is very important, because you've covered pretty much all the bases on the many great things that you're doing to give back, but military service support is definitely something that people would like to hear more about.
Yeah, we have a committee that is dedicated to finding and funding and organizing projects that support veterans. So we have a number of ways we do that. I think that that committee has been very active around not only funding services to veterans and helping that, but educating our membership through speakers and programs about veterans issues and the military. And so that's a huge part of what we're committed to.
Yes, and you do so many other things. Community leadership development, there's the Rotary Foundation, the list goes on, and I just want to thank you for coming by today and shedding lights on all of the great things that you're doing.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.
Same here. Kathie Eilers is the past president and current mentor for the Rotary Club of Milwaukee Scholarship Program. And again, you can log on to MilwaukeeRotary.com to find out more about all the great things they're doing to make a difference in our community. When we return to Our Issues Milwaukee, we'll learn more about a foundation established by a well-known company that's been in the city since 1972 and has been making a difference ever since. We'll do that when we come back to Our Issues Milwaukee.